Welcome back to the Random Dad YouTube channel, where we do random projects that every dad should know how to do. I've got a special treat for you today. We are going to be replacing some toggle switches in my 1978 Gibson Les Paul Artist. I have to admit, I don't know a ton about this guitar. Gibson only made them for a couple of years. The unique thing about them, they have an active electronic system from Moog. There's a lot of electronics in the back of it, so you'll see that now. I'm also trying out a new soldering iron kit today. I ordered it on Amazon. I just had a big soldering gun that wasn't gonna work. Here she is, Gibson Les Paul Artist. I am super lucky. My grandfather gave this to me. It is really cool. I love playing it. Here's our issue right here. We got a broken switch, and I'm gonna replace all three of them today. Here's the back of it. There's a huge panel on it to cover up the electronics. We'll get this cover off and see what we're working with. Here she is opened up. You can see over here, got the little 9-volt battery. And then I have a couple of circuit boards. I'm hoping that I'm gonna be able to move these out of the way enough to get to those three toggle switches right there. Those are the three switches I need to replace. You can see all the wires going into them. I think I'm gonna pop the battery out, kind of like shutting the breaker off if you were working on something at the house. See if I can tape some of this stuff out of the way maybe. I don't want to cut any of those zip ties if I don't have to. Just going to loosen the nut on the front side of the switch. All right, and then I can push the switch out. Here's one of my new switches. Shout out bitterrootguitars.com for hooking me up. By hooking me up, I mean I bought them there. So my plan here is to thread this new one in right next to where the old one was, and then kind of re-solder it one wire at a time. And I think that's the best way for me to get this soldered back in here. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do is just try to get this white wire off here. So I'm going to touch my soldering iron to the back side of the component till it kind of gently releases. It's taking way longer than I want it to. Clear to me I'm going to need some needle nose or something to get this wire off. Yeah, it's just too hot for me to grab with my fingers. So little did I know, my sweet new little solder kit came with some tweezers. I'm also a little concerned because I'm messing up the coating on the wire here. I think I gotta regroup and come up with a new plan. Okay, new strategy. I've slid this toggle switch back into the body of the guitar, and I've made a little diagram indicating which wire goes to which so that I can unsolder this switch, physically install the new switch, and then solder the new switch in. I've got that switch remounted into the body of the guitar, and I'm hoping that I can apply some heat to this solder joint here and pull this wire off. I really was hoping I could grab onto this wire, heat the solder up, and pull it off, you know. It's gonna be smooth sailing. What I don't wanna do is cut this wire. There's not a ton of material to be messing with in here. Coating of the wire is melting first, which is less than ideal. Maybe if I hold the heat on the back side of the terminal, I'll have better luck. This wire is bent right around the terminal, which is making such a spectacular solder joint, but is really making it difficult for me to remove it. I'm contemplating snipping that way at the end. I'm really just buggering it up. I'm afraid that the coating on the end is gonna make it almost impossible for me to resolder that back on. Second regroup effort of the project already. Last effort here before I cut those wires. This kit came with this solder sucker. And so push this plunger down and then you hit this button. Supposedly sucks solder. I read on the internet that these things are kind of magic makers. Well, I'll be dipped in solder. Holy crap. Did you see it? I hope you could see that. That thing really did at least expose the wire. Now that some of the solder's out of the way, can I heat up what's left and pull this wire out? I'm trying to grab the actual metal of the wire, not the casing, not the protective coating. So this isn't great still. I thought we maybe just had a major breakthrough. There it goes. There you go, folks. That's our red and white wire. Man, that's kind of trashed. I certainly can't repeat that process. I'm gonna try that solder sucker on the next terminal and just see if I use it from the start. We'll go for that white wire next. Hit it with the solder sucker. So I'm trying to keep the solder hot, kind of unwind the wire at the same time. I am a little worried. I'm trashing the wires. I have a feeling that I'm gonna have to replace some of these. Okay, white's out. So this little white wire, as you can see, just jumps to the next toggle switch. Look at that. This is amateur hour. Can you see right there? Right there. I've burned the coating of the wire. This red wire, which luckily also just runs to the other toggle switch with my soldering iron while I was messing with the white one. Like I said, amateur hour. So now I gotta be a little more careful with that. Solder sucker's cool. This is how this whole project's gonna go. I may only replace the switch that's dead. Switching to guns, and I'm gonna try to work the wires off the component. Wow, so that one was easy. They weren't actually wrapped around the post. So that orange guy goes to the actual guitar. Getting my process dialed here. I'm gonna try the sucker on this last blue wire. Solder sucker is odd, I'll have to say. It happens so fast that you don't really see what's happening. That's the solder that the sucker sucked. So I think I probably have to pull this out of here if I want it to continue working. Oh yeah, look at that little solder plug. Making a little progress, still not great. So here's my new switch. I do want one washer on the back and one washer on the front. Because Relic guitars are so hot right now, because I'm so in tune with the street, I'm gonna use the old washer on the front. There aren't enough threads sticking out for me to grab onto, so you see there's a nut back there. I'm gonna take this off because I need all the threads I can get sticking out the front here. This is the old switch. It didn't have any sort of retainer on the backside, so this guy should be fine like that. Yeah, unfortunately, it doesn't give me enough space to put the washer on, which all the rest of the switches have. Look how much more thread there is on the old switch. This could be a halt situation. Might have to call up old Bitterroot Guitars and ask them what to do here. This one's gonna be a to be continued, folks. Hey guys, I recorded that outro for this video the other day while I was in the process of making this, but I lost everything. We're stuck here. The switch isn't right. I'm gonna have to jump online and see if I can source the correct switch. I'll get back to you with a part 2 when we finish this thing up. I guess I'll be stuck playing the old Martin for a little while. If you like this content, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, leave me any comments down underneath. If you got any suggestions on how to do this better, I would love to hear them. As you can see, we struggled a little bit today, but that's what the Random Dad is all about. You got to try new stuff, figure out new ways, solve problems, all that fun stuff. So we'll learn as we go, and we'll talk to you all later. Goodbye.